Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys like my videos. This is a story of what if Naruto becomes the Black Death of Konoha. Naruto changes in the Wave arc. It all starts from the bridge that Tazuna built. Before we start, be sure to check the description for the creator of this great fanfic, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a like and give review of this video. So let's start. Chapter 20. Jirobo watched Choji roll towards him at a fast speed. He held his arms out and caught Choji, making him slide backwards. Hey, that actually hurt a little. Jirobo mocked. How did he stop me? Choji thought as Jirobo lifted him up and threw him across the clearing. Choji dispelled the jutsu and landed on his feet. I got to think of something. Choji thought as he dodged to the side. He went through a few hand signs. Partial expansion, both arms. Choji exclaimed as his arms turned into huge limbs. He brought both of his arms down on Jirobo with a sickening crunch. Choji let out a small smile, but he instantly frowned when he felt his fists being lifted. You are pretty feisty for a fat kid. Choji said. Back in Konoha, why does it feel like someone just insulted the one I love? Ino thought, but shook it off and went back to tending to the flowers. With Choji, what kind of strength is this? Choji thought as his arms returned to their normal size. Choji leapt back and popped a few food pills into his mouth to replenish his chakra. I will have to beat him in taijutsu. Choji thought as he ran at the man. Oh, did I make Fatty mad? Jirobo asked sarcastically, making Choji mad. Choji made a left punch. Partial expansion, right arm. Choji exclaimed as he punched Jirobo with his enlarged right fist, sending Jirobo flying backwards and slamming into several trees. Earth release. Earth shaking palm. Jirobo exclaimed from above Choji. Choji instantly rolled to the left, dodging the attack, but got blown away by the force of the blow hitting the ground. For a fat kid, you are fast. Jirobo said. You shouldn't be talking. Choji said as he knelt on one knee. I am going to have to use them. Choji thought as he pulled out a case. What are those? Jirobo asked. This is the spinach pill. Choji said as he popped the green pill into his mouth and crunched down on it. His chakra instantly started to surge and he became slimmer. Partial expansion jutsu, both arms. Choji exclaimed as both of his arms grew to 3 times his normal partial expansion jutsu. Choji slapped Jirobo into the air with one arm while slamming him into the ground with an insane amount of speed with his other arm. Choji kept on slamming his hands onto the ground where Jirobo was. His arms returned back to their normal size. Okay, I have to admit that one hurt. Jirobo said, standing up, shocking Choji. Earth style. Earth mausoleum dumpling. Jirobo exclaimed as he lifted a massive piece of ground out of the ground. Choji stared in slight fear as the man heaved the giant piece of earth at him. Choji barely dodged to the side as the rock flew past him. He stood just in time to be kicked in the stomach, making him fly backwards through a tree. Choji rolled backwards and stopped on his hands and knees. He coughed up a little bit of blood. Choji could feel the chakra he gained from the spinach pill starting to leave him. This isn't good. Choji thought as he weakly stood just in time to be kicked again towards the clearing. Choji rolled across the ground. I will have to use it. Choji thought as he stopped rolling. Choji got into his knees as he pulled the box of pills out again. He popped the yellow pill into his mouth and chomped down on it. He felt his chakra surge to a high level again. He winced in pain a little. The effects are kicking in now. Choji thought as Jirobo attempted to kick Choji again, but he stopped the kick with his bare hand. Choji stood faster than Jirobo could see and kicked him into the air. Where did this strength come from? Jirobo thought as he flew into the air. Partial expansion, left arm. Choji exclaimed as his left arm grew, allowing him to catch Jirobo and slamming him head first into the ground. Earth style. Earth mausoleum dumpling. Jirobo exclaimed as he picked up another giant piece of rock and threw it at Choji, who easily knocked it away with his enlarged arm. Those jutsu won't do anything to me. Jirobo told Choji as he watched Choji starting to run at him while making hand signs. Super expansion jutsu. Choji yelled as he first grew to the regular expansion jutsu, making Jirobo smirk, but that smirk was instantly gone when Choji grew as big as a small mountain and landed on top of him. Choji smirked as he crushed everything under him. Choji's thought was stopped as he felt himself being lifted off the ground. Choji quickly became his normal size. He saw that Jirobo had strange marks growing on his skin. I can't believe you brought this out of me. Jirobo said as his skin started to darken and his hair started to grow. Hey, you just lost. Jirobo's distorted voice said. Choji felt the effects of the second pill setting in. This isn't good. Choji thought as Jirobo slammed his fist into Choji's stomach, making him fly backwards through several trees. His strength has increased. Choji thought as Jirobo appeared behind him, kicking him back into the clearing. Choji crashed into the clearing and rolled onto his back. I will have to use that pill. Choji thought as he weakly pulled the pill box out and looked at the red pill. I might not make it back after this. Choji thought. Flashback: a small plump boy was attempting to play with a few other kids. Let's play Shinobi. One of them yelled. Okay. The kids chimed happily. They split into groups. Okay, we will look first. The team captain said happily as the team started to count. The other team ran in all directions trying to find a hiding place. The plump boy was looking around when he saw someone from his team. He walked over to the boy. What are you doing? Go find your own place to hide. The boy said harshly. Go on, Choji, before you get us caught, he exclaimed quietly when two cardboard shuriken hit the two kids. See what you did, he boy demanded. A little while later, looks like we won. The searching team said. That is because we were stuck with Choji. The other team leader said. He is the worst at this game. He added, making Choji feel even worse. Let's just play without him. The boy said harshly. A lazy-looking boy looked at the plump boy with mild interest. Then the teams will be uneven. The other team stated. So what? Whoever has Choji is at a disadvantage. The hiding team leader stated harshly. Choji started to walk away without speaking to the other kids. He was looking at the ground in sadness. I hate how they treat me like that. Choji thought sadly. He walked up some stairs that led to a roof with a covered bench. He sat on the bench by himself and took a bag of chips out and started too much on them. Your name is Choji, right? A lazy voice asked. Yeah, what is yours? Choji asked, making the boy sigh in boredom. My name is Shikamaru Nara. Shikamaru told him. Weren't you playing Shinobi with the others? Choji asked. Yeah, but it became too troublesome for me to play anymore. Shikamaru said, stuffing his hands into his pockets, and walked over next to Choji and lay on the bench looking up at the clouds. This is much more enjoyable. Shikamaru told him, looking at the sky. It is a nice view. Choji stated, looking at the sky. Chip. Choji asked, handing Shikamaru a bag of chips. Shikamaru stuffed his hand into the bag and took a handful and slowly ate them. The two remained silent as they stayed there watching the clouds going by. Hello, Choji. A booming voice said. Hello, Dad. Choji said, looking up at the massive man. Who is your friend? Choji's dad asked. Oh, this is Shikamaru Nara. Choji said. Oh, Shikaku's boy. Choji's father asked. That is my father. Shikamaru said in a bored tone. Well, I am Chusa Akamaiki, Choji's father. Chusa told Shikamaru. It is nice to meet you, Chusa-sama. Shikamaru said, lifting his head enough to look at the older man. Chusa is just fine. Chusa told Shikamaru. Anyway, we have to get going. Shikamaru, how about I take you home too? Chusa said as Shikamaru shrugged indifferently but stood nonetheless. They walked in silence to Shikamaru's house. Hey, Choji. Shikamaru asked, gaining the plump boy's attention. Want to go there again tomorrow? He asked, surprising the boy. Sure. He stuttered back a little as he watched the lazy boy walk into his house. Flashback end. Hey, why did I remember my first time meeting Shikamaru? Choji thought as he continued to look at the pills. He looked at Jirobo, who seemed to moving in slow motion towards him. Choji slowly opened the third pill and pulled it out. The chili pill, supposedly rumored to increase one's chakra 100-fold. Choji thought as he popped it into his mouth as time seemed to speed up. He bit into it and felt an almost unlimited amount chakra surge through him. Earth style. Earth-shaking palm. He exclaimed as he struck Choji. You missed me. Choji said from behind Jirobo. Jirobo quickly turned to see a now skinny boy with a chakra butterfly wing out of his back. Choji appeared in front of Jirobo and slammed his fist into Jirobo's stomach. There was a second delay before Jirobo went flying backwards. I wonder how long I have to live. Choji thought calmly as he slammed his foot on top of Jirobo's chest, making Jirobo's back create a crater under him. Choji started to focus all of the chakra into his arm as he walked towards Jirobo. Konoha Ino gasped and dropped a vase of flowers as she grabbed her heart. What is this F feeling? Ino thought as the heartache soon went away. Sweetie, what is wrong? Inoichi asked his daughter. Just a slip up, daddy. Ino said calmly. That was so weird. Ino thought. Choji made it to Jirobo, who was attempting and failing to stand from the small crater. I will end this fight with the next attack. Choji stated. Butterfly bullet bombing. Choji yelled as he slammed his fist into Jirobo's stomach so hard that he turned Jirobo's bones to dust and his internal organs into liquid. Choji instantly grabbed his heart as he felt the poison of the chili pill kicking in. My only regret is that I couldn't tell Ino that I loved her. Choji thought sadly as he stumbled away from the body. He fell to his knees as butterflies started to fly around him. Choji watched the butterflies as his vision started to turn black as he fell onto his stomach. Goodbye Shikamaru, Ino, Asuma-sensei, Dad, Mom. Choji thought as he lost conscious. Chapter 21 Naruto, Kiba, Neji, and Shikamaru were leaping away from Choji when the ground shook. What the hell was that? Kiba asked. Naruto sniffed the air. Choji's chakra is rising at an alarming rate. Naruto said, a bit worried. Choji wouldn't use those. Shikamaru thought doubtfully. Naruto's eyes widened when he felt another massive chakra surge. How crap, he just increased his chakra by at least 100 times. Naruto exclaimed worriedly. He did use them. Shikamaru said sadly. Used what? Neji asked. The Akamaiki food pills. Shikamaru told them. They are 3 pills, each making the user more powerful with each pill taken, but each one poisons the user. Shikamaru told them. The weakest is the spinach pill. It is survivable along with the second pill, the curry pill, but you would need immediate medical help. But the last pill, the chili pill, has an almost guaranteed death warrant on it. Shikamaru said sadly. If he used that one and doesn't get immediate medical attention from Tsunade-sama, he will most likely die. Naruto placed a hand onto Shikamaru's shoulder. I am sure Choji will live, he is one of the strongest people I know of. Naruto told him. You are right. Shikamaru said. Guys, there is something wrong. Neji said as he saw chakra all around them. What is it? Naruto asked as Neji deactivated his Byakugan. We are surrounded by chakra. Neji told them. You have some good eyes, boy. A man with 6 arms told him. I am Kidomaru and I will be killing you. Kidomaru told them as he spit a huge web at them. Naruto was able to slice through a portion of the web, but his left leg and arm was stuck in it. Naruto growled at the older man. That is a nifty sword, maybe I should take it. The man said as he spit out a string and it wrapped around the blade. I wouldn't do that. Naruto warned before a large lightning bolt flew out of the tip of the blade and hit the man, making him fly backwards into some trees. Naruto took the blade and slashed at the webbing, holding his arm and leg in place. Naruto ripped his arm and leg from the webbing just in time to be hit in the chest by a web, sending him into a tree. Naruto struggled to get free but could only move his arms a little. Damn, this isn't good. Naruto thought as he tried to get free. Naruto is stalling for time, but why? Shikamaru thought. This webbing has chakra running through it. Neji thought as he looked at it with his Byakugan. He concentrated a little chakra into his fingers and sliced the webbing cleanly. Naruto knew how this was made, but he couldn't make a chakra needle small enough to cut it. Neji thought as he silently went to Shikamaru and easily cut him down. Be quiet. Neji told him quietly as they went to the struggling Kiba. Naruto was still struggling against the webbing as the man got closer to him. Naruto suddenly stopped struggling and smirked. What is so funny, boy? Kidomaru demanded. Just this. Naruto said as he poured chakra into his cloak, making it heavier. The webbing started to strain against itself before completely snapping. Naruto wiped the stray pieces of webbing off his shoulder. Naruto leveled his katana with Kidomaru's head. Naruto, let me fight him. Neji told him as he stepped in front of Naruto. Okay, Neji. Naruto said. Don't die, Tenten and Hinata Haim will not like that. Naruto whispered to him as he shifted his katana and leapt away after Kiba and Shikamaru. Splitting up won't help you. Kidomaru told him. Sakin, Ukin, and Tayuya are the 3 strongest of us. Kidomaru told him with a vicious smirk. There is no way they will live. Neji didn't reply but just dropped into the Hyuga gentle fist style. I will not lose. Neji told him. As he charged at Kidomaru and started to jab at him, attempting to shut his chakra down. Kidomaru easily dodged Neji's attacks. He is as nimble as Hinata-sama. Neji thought as he struck at him again at the same time as he did a roundhouse kick, catching Kidomaru by surprise. The gentle fist style doesn't have any kicks. Kidomaru exclaimed. Hinata-sama and I have been adding kicks into it. Neji told him as he went into a series of attacks. Kidomaru was now blocking and dodging the lethal hits Neji was dealing. Neji instantly lowered his stance. 8 trigrams 64 palms. Neji exclaimed as he hit Kidomaru. 2 palms, 4 palms, 8 palms 16 palms, 32 palms 64 palms. Neji exclaimed as he scored every consecutive hit. Kidomaru slid backwards and slumped over. You are not that strong. Neji said as Kidomaru straightened himself. His skin was cracking and falling off. You broke my shell. Kidomaru said as his skin fell off. I have webbing covering my body to prevent myself from getting hurt. Kidomaru told him. How am I going to beat him? Neji thought as he watched him bit his thumb. Summon. Kidomaru yelled as a giant spider appeared. I would like you to meet the queen of the spiders. Kidomaru said, indicating to the giant spider. Its thorax started to open and hundreds of small spiders started to fall on him. Kaden. Neji exclaimed as he started to spin, creating a dome of chakra around him. Neji threw off all the spiders that fell onto him. Neji stopped spinning as the giant spider hissed at him. She doesn't like that you killed her babies. Kidomaru stated calmly as the spider descended a little, releasing a lot more spiderlings. I will not be able to use the Kaden to block all of them. Neji thought when Hinata's training came into his mind. I hope this works. Neji thought as he looked up at the falling spiderlings and he lowered his stance. What is that stance? It is lower than his previous attack. Kidomaru thought. Neji lengthened his chakra needles into long whips. 8 trigrams 128 palms. Neji exclaimed as he started lashing out at the spiderlings with his chakra whips. An even more advanced attack. Kidomaru thought. 2 palms 4 palms 8 palms 16 palms 32 palms 64 palms, and 128 palms. Neji yelled as he unleashed the final attack, slashing all the spiders in half and cut off 2 of the Spider Queen's legs, making it teleport back to its home plane. Neji stood up as the last of the spiders fell around him. He let out a breath and looked at the man. You weren't called the strongest rookie of the year for nothing. Kidomaru said as he started to spit orange webbing at him. Neji dodged to the side and he heard the webbing hit the tree behind him. Neji turned in time to see a tree falling over. This is my densest webbing. It is stronger than steel and I can manipulate it to any shape I want. Kidomaru said as he started to leap around Neji, who was dodging every attack. If he continues this, he will find the blind spot. Neji thought as he barely dodged an attack. I have to hit him again. Neji thought when he saw Kidomaru stop. Neji capitalized and ran at him in a low stance. 8 trigrams empty palms. Neji exclaimed as his palm connected with Kidomaru's stomach, making him cough up blood and fly backwards. That should have finished him off. Neji thought, but heard Naruto's advice about not making assumptions. I cannot believe you brought this out of me. Kidomaru said as he stood and had strange black marking growing across his skin. His skin started to change colors and darken while he grew horns. Are you scared? Kidomaru asked. Nope. Neji said calmly. He could see the tainted chakra running through Kidomaru's system. That chakra isn't normal. Neji thought. I have figured out your weakness, Hyuga boy. Kidomaru started as he started to spit daggers at Neji from all directions. Kaden. Neji exclaimed as he started to spin and kept it up till the last webbing dagger hit it and bounced off. Neji was starting to breath hard from the exertion from the battle. I don't know if I have enough chakra to beat him. Neji thought as he started to back up and started to run away, trying to lure him as far away from the rest of his team as he could. With Kidomaru he started to spit out some of his silk and turned it into a bow. Spider bow. Fierce bow. Kidomaru said as he spit out a long arrow and shot some silk towards some trees to keep him from falling. He pulled the string as far back as he could and released the arrow. He watched as the arrow stayed on target, but Neji dodged behind a tree and the arrow launched through it, narrowly missing his shoulder. Seems my arrow was diverted by the trunk of the tree. Kidomaru said as he spit out another arrow. This one had a spiral cone for a tip. He watched Neji starting to run again as he pulled the arrow back and released it. He watched with satisfaction as the arrow blasted through trees. I won't be able to dodge it like before. Neji thought as he deflected the arrow with his chakra and made it go through his shoulder. He winced in pain from the arrow ripping through his shoulder. He watched the arrow hit the ground and create a large crater. I won't be able to take another hit. Neji mused. He saw it coming. Kidomaru said, thinking back to when he was launching the daggers at him and remember the one that narrowly missed him. So I have to keep the arrow in that blind spot. Kidomaru mused as he spit out another arrow, but this one had a web attached to the back so he could control it. Kidomaru pulled back the string and released it as Neji started to stagger away. Kidomaru was maneuvering the arrow to stay in Neji's blind spot till the last second. The arrow grew ever closer to the retreating Konoha shinobi. Neji suddenly turned and took the arrow into and through his stomach. He forgets I can see chakra. Neji thought weakly as he grabbed the string and forced his chakra into it and back to Kidomaru. Neji watched Kidomaru cough up blood and Neji cut the string with his chakra and used what little strength he had to leap into the air. He was panting with blood dripping from his mouth. 8 trigrams, 128 palms. Neji panted out before releasing his attack on the defenseless shinobi. 2 palms, 4 palms, 8 palms, 16 palms, 32 palms, 64 palms, 128 palms. Neji was able to finish the attack on the now dying man. The two landed on the ground in a heap. I have to survive for Tenten. Neji thought as he forced himself to his feet through his sheer will to see Tenten again. Neji was stumbling away from the dead shinobi with blood freely flowing from his shoulder and stomach. Neji made it to a tree. As he turned, he leaned against it and slid down to the ground as his eyes started to close. He could feel his strength leaving him by the second. Here is another one and he is in bad condition, was the last thing Neji heard before losing complete consciousness. Chapter 22 Naruto suddenly growled in anger. What is wrong? Shikamaru asked. I can't feel Neji's chakra anymore. Naruto told him. Neji was considered the strongest genin in Konoha. I am sure he just used too much chakra. Shikamaru told him. I doubt it. A voice said. Kidomaru could beat him easily. Everyone looked at the man in front of them. Both Kiba and Naruto were smelt 2 cents coming from the guy. You two go on ahead. Kiba said, determined. Akamaru and I will handle him. Hinata and Shino would never forgive me if you die, Kiba. Naruto told him. I won't die, Naruto. Kiba said as he watched his friends leap away. Strong words for someone who will die. The man said. Oh, and by the way, I am Sakin and I am the leader of the Sound 4. Sakin stated as Kiba gulped. Come on, boy. Kiba said. Kiba made a hand sign. Beast mimicry. Kiba exclaimed as his features started to become more feral. Piercing fang. Kiba yelled as he started to spin and flew towards the man. Kiba knocked the guy back. As Kiba stopped spinning, he leapt back to Akamaru. Sakin ran at the two, kicking Akamaru away from Kiba and dealing a devastating blow to Kiba's stomach. That attack almost hurt. Sakin said. God, I couldn't see him. Kiba thought as he weakly stood and charged at Sakin, and he easily dodged all of Kiba's attacks. I can't hit him. Kiba thought as he barely ducked under a wide kick but was suddenly punched in the jaw, making him skid away. Kiba saw Akamaru sneaking behind Sakin. Brother, the dog is coming up behind us. A second voice said, shocking Kiba. Thanks, Uken. Sakin replied as he turned his back to Kiba. Piercing fang. Kiba exclaimed as he started to spin towards the back of Sakin. An arm shot out of Sakin's shoulder, stopping Kiba dead in his tracks and threw him over to Akamaru. Kiba twisted in the air and landed on his feet in a crouch. Akamaru leapt onto Kiba's back. Man-beast clone. Kiba exclaimed as Akamaru turned into a feral version of Kiba. Come on, Akamaru, fang over fang. Kiba yelled as the two started to spin and danced around Sakin and Uken, trying to hit them. Brother, why aren't you finished with them? Uken asked, irritated. But brother, this is too much fun. Sakin replied. Can I at least play a little longer? Fine, but you had better not wake me again. Uken said as both Kiba and Akamaru hit Sakin, Akamaru low and Kiba high. The dual attack made Sakin fly backwards. He was able to twist in his flight and land safely on his feet. You almost woke brother. Sakin said. Like I care. Kiba growled as he and Akamaru both started to circle them. Kiba pulled a kunai out and threw it at Sakin. Kiba smirked as the kunai almost hit Sakin when an arm came out of Sakin's shoulder and caught the kunai. Brother, it is time to end this now. Uken said. But brother, I haven't had my fun yet. Sakin complained. There are still the other two brats. Uken told him, and that seemed to placid Sakin a little. Fine, we can kill him now. Sakin said as he charged at Kiba. Multiple punches. Sachin exclaimed as four fists continually collided with Kiba until he was thrown back from the force of the attack. I can't be beaten by them. Kiba thought weakly as Akamaru leapt over to him. Kiba was able to stand. Let's go Akamaru. Fang over Fang. Kiba yelled as both of them started to spin and fly towards Sachin and Ukin. The two attacks were stopped by Sachin and Ukin. Multiple kicks. Sachin exclaimed as three legs kicked out and connected with Kiba and Akamaru. The force of the kicks dispelled the clone jutsu placed on Akamaru. Akamaru skidded to a stop next to Kiba. Kiba was panting as a second head formed on Sachin's shoulder. Brother, can we use it? Sachin asked. Yes we can. Ukin told Sachin, who grinned as marks started to spread around their faces and exposed skin as it darkened and the two head grew horns. I just learned the technique, Kiba thought as he popped a food pill into his mouth at the same time he threw one at Akamaru, who chomped onto it. Akamaru used dynamic marking. Kiba ordered as Akamaru disappeared and appeared above the two shinobi and peed on them while spinning. Why the hell did he piss on us? Sachin yelled as Akamaru appeared on Kiba's back. That weak clone won't work against us. Sachin stated with a smirk. Good thing we aren't doing a clone jutsu. Kiba said as he made a hand sign at the same time as his features started to grow more feral. Man-beast combination transformation. Double-headed wolf. Kiba yelled as a massive puff of smoke appeared. As it cleared, a giant white double-headed wolf was standing in front of them. One of its paws was on a rock pillar. Fang wolf Fang. Kiba exclaimed as they formed a large spinning cyclone. Sachin barely dodged him but got a deep gash on his arm. We are spinning so fast that we could miss you, but the wind will still cut you. Kiba said in a deep voice. This doesn't look good, brother. Sachin stated. Fang wolf Fang. Kiba yelled as he started to spin again, and this time he hit the two brothers right in the middle of their bodies, splitting them in half. Kiba and Akamaru came to a skidding halt behind the two. I think he thinks he has one brother. Sachin said as limbs burst from his body along with his brothers. What are these two? Kiba thought as he looked at the scaly body of the newly grown half. Kiba and Akamaru growled at the two as they stood. I can only do this attack one more time before we have to release the jutsu. Kiba thought as he looked at the two. Fang wolf Fang. Kiba yelled as he spun towards the two. What should we do, brother? Sachin asked. You know damn well what to do. Ukin said as the two bit their thumbs and went through a few hand signs. Summon. The two yelled as a giant wall appeared and Kiba and Akamaru hit the wall full force, leaving a massive dent in it. Wow, that is some attack. He dented Rashomon. Ukin stated as the wall puffed away at the same time as Kiba and Akamaru's jutsu was released. Kiba grabbed Akamaru and the two fell to the ground. Kiba landed on his back behind a boulder. I don't know if I will be able to beat them if they were able to beat my strongest attack. Kiba thought as he took his coat off and placed Akamaru in it. Please be okay, Akamaru. Kiba pleaded as he stood and walked out from behind the boulder to face the Sachin. Where is Ukin? Kiba thought as he charged at Sachin, ready to punch him when two arms wrapped around his arm. Kiba saw two arms had grown out of his bicep and held his arm back. This is our Kekai Genkai. Brother is able to enter his opponent's body and control it. Sachin stated as he walked towards Kiba. This isn't good. Kiba thought when he clutched his other fist. He can only control that side. Kiba thought when he heard a bark and saw a blur of white fly past him as Akamaru peed in Sachin's eyes, burning him. Ah! Sachin screamed as he rubbed his eyes. Go wash your eyes, fool. Ukin told him as Sachin stumbled towards the river. Kiba slid a kunai out of his pouch without Ukin noticing. You can control that part of my body but not this side. Kiba said as he stabbed himself in the stomach and both Ukin and Kiba winced in pain. And you share my body. Kiba stated as blood dripped from his mouth. Ukin fell from Kiba, clutching his stomach in pain. Kiba weakly grabbed the once again unconscious Akamaru and stumbled away as Sachin washed his eyes out. Kiba walked into the water and started to swim with Akamaru on his head. With Sachin and Ukin, Sachin had just finished washing his eyes when he heard a groan of pain. He quickly turned to see Ukin lying on the ground in a pool of blood. Brother! Sachin yelled as he went to his brother. Took you long enough. Ukin grumbled angrily as he sunk into his brother's body. I will need a lot of rest. I am going to make that brat pay. Sachin stated as he saw Kiba's coat peeking out from behind a boulder. He smirked viciously and snuck up to it. He leapt around the corner to see that it was just the coat. He smirked and picked it up and placed it on. He won't be able to smell me now that I smell like him. sClan thought. With Kiba had a branch held in his hand as he floated down the river. It will be all right, boy. Kiba said quietly as he made his way to the shore. He pulled himself up onto the shore and stumbled into the forest. Kiba sniffed the air and could smell a person nearby. Who is that? Kiba thought as he stumbled along. I hope it is someone to help me. Kiba thought as he leaned his back against a tree and slid down as he closed his eyes. I will just rest for a second. Kiba said aloud. Kiba's sensitive ears heard something coming up on him. So he has found me already. Kiba thought as he stayed there with his eyes closed. I am going to kill you for hurting my brother. sClan stated. Hey, I was aiming to maim him. Kiba replied half-heartedly. Oh, and you should know that the Inuzuka clan also has heightened hearing along with smell. Kiba told him when he heard clicking noises. So it is the puppet boy. Kiba thought as he saw a puppet appear behind sClan. sClan didn't notice until cloth wrapping wrapped around his body pulling him into the puppet. Secret black technique. Iron Maiden, a voice said as other pieces of puppets with blades stabbed into Black Ant's torso, stabbing and killing sClan as blood seeped from the puppet. Geez, you Konoha shinobi sure have a sick sense of fun. Kankuro joked. Thanks, Kankuro. Kiba said with a smirk as Kankuro helped Kiba up. There are some medics nearby. Tsunade-sama sent Lee ahead of us to help you guys. Neji Hyuga and Choji Akamaiki are in serious conditions. Kankuro told Kiba as he helped him over to some of the medics. Who else did Tsunade-sama send? Kiba asked. Gaara and Tamari. Kankuro said. Shikamaru's girlfriend. Kiba asked, making Kankuro blink. Tamari is Shikamaru's girlfriend. Kankuro asked, confused. I thought she despises him. You know what, I am not even sure they are going out, it is just I saw them having dinner together a while back and assumed they were dating. Kiba admitted as they made it to the medic camp to see medics attempting to stabilize Neji and Choji. A medic came up to him. Go to my friends, they need your help more. Kiba told the woman. But you were stabbed. She stated. It was self-inflicted, just give me some plasma pills and bandages, I am sure Kankuro and I could bandage the wound up. Kiba said. Who said I would help? Kankuro exclaimed. I just volunteered you. Kiba said with a smirk. I hate you, dog boy. Kankuro stated as the medic came back with a few bandages and a handful of plasma pills. Kiba lifted his shirt. Puppet boy, hold my shirt up. Kiba told him as he took a couple plasma pills and wrapped the wound up. What about the puppy? The medic asked. I will take him. A voice said from behind the two. You have done something stupid, pup. A second voice stated as Kiba stated to sweat. Kankuro turned and almost shit himself at the sight of the two women. Hello, Ne-chan Ka-san. Kiba mumbled, just as scared as Kankuro if not more. What have you done to Akamaru? Tsume demanded as Hana took the puppy and started to check him over. We had to do anything to at least stall for time for Shikamaru and Naruto to catch up with Sasuke and the girl. Kiba defended himself. Tsume looked at her son with a critical eye, making him start to sweat. Good answer, pup, but if you ever risk your life like this again and you survive, I will kill you myself, then have Tsunade-sama revive you so Hana-chan can take her turn at kicking your ass. Tsume threatened her son. Kudamaru, take Kiba and Akamaru to Konoha immediately. Tsume ordered. Okay, Tsume-chan. Kudamaru said as Kenkuro's mouth dropped open and he fell backwards unconscious. I think I scared the pup, Tsume-chan. Kudamaru stated, looking at the unconscious Suna shinobi. It isn't every day someone hears a dog talk. Tsume stated as she watched her old partner, Kiba, Hana and Akamaru leave towards Konoha. Tsume-sama, where are the next people? A medic asked. Tsume sniffed the air. Follow me. Tsume ordered as she leapt away with 6 medics close behind. I hope you liked it. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like for more what ifs and support the author. See you guys in the next video.